Hi, everyone, and welcome to Alpha House. Today, we're having a very interesting conversation. And I'm saying it's interesting, one, because it's on women's health. Two, it's on the products that are given to us as women to use. But the way they are advertised and the kind of material they used to make is not working for us. Why it's also interesting is that the person handling this is a gentleman. Introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hi, Sarah. So my name is Joseph Mwai. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I'm a human rights activist, and I am primarily focused on consumer protection laws. So this particular product is something to do with consumers, and it deals with our ladies.
And the product is pads and
Yes.
baby
Diapers.
not
Yes.
pampers.
Yes.
So what's the story?
So the simple issue here is that we have international conglomerates and international companies that have been selling to our women and our children, that they're selling to us sanitary products that are made of cotton while they are not made of cotton. So the key issue here is that we have companies that are selling, the key companies being Procter & Gamble, Kimberly & Clark, who sell us Pampers, Always, Huggies, and Cortex, when they advertise it to be cotton, but it is not cotton. The reality is that it is made of over 20 different synthetics, none of which is cotton. Not even a shred of cotton is involved in the making of those materials. But when you see the advertisement,
Not even an inch of it.
not even a single 1 gram of cotton.
Is there like a scientific test to it, or how
So-
have you gone about it to determine that?
So first point of reference is the product itself. If you take the product and you look at it and you look at the back side of the product, of the ingredients that they'll list pulp, polythene, polyester, some silicone, adhesives. But the product itself on the back side does not list that it has cotton. But on the front side, you may see that it's listed as cotton. In the advertisement structure, it is also advertised as cotton. And if you go to their websites, the particular products on their websites, they do advertise that it is made of, they do indicate that it is made of different synthetics. So the data is not even self-generated. The data is coming from their own websites. So for example, you can pick a product like Huggies Newborn. Huggies advertises that it is made of organic cotton, made of pure 100% cotton on their website. But on the same website, on the first landing page that you look, you'll see 100% cotton. You scroll slightly lower, you'll see pure organic cotton. Then at the very bottom of the page,
The fact that it's pure, it means it's not the GMO cotton, maybe.
yes. So at the very bottom of the page is where they now indicate the ingredients, and it's a lie. So, and they have been told in very many court cases that you should not be telling customers that you're selling cotton while it is not cotton. Do not lie to customers that this is a cotton product while it is not a cotton product. Just list your products. Let the customer choose whether they want to buy your product, but their products are not made of cotton.
Wow. And before you go like any further, I'm sure even here, this room is full of gentlemen. I'm sure they wonder how a man decided to or got to discover, or how did you end up with this interest?
So it happened erroneously. It was not something I was endeavoring to. I was preparing in the morning. Then I noticed one of my wife's products. Then I just, what is this thing actually made of? Because all through my years I've bought diapers for my children. Whenever I go for shopping, I'll buy a product for my wife, my house help, my sister, whoever is around there, the females who are around my house. So I just asked myself, by the way, what is this thing made of? And I caught the first word, which is cellulose. And cellulose is not cotton. Then I went and dug other products, and I realized what these things are made of, it's not cotton. But throughout the advertising process, throughout my entire life, I've always known it is cotton. And as we have this conversation, everybody who has had this conversation and they are told it is not cotton, they are also surprised that how come with all of us throughout this generation thought it was cotton, but it was not cotton. Yeah.
Wow. So you've said you've bought maybe diapers for your kids and maybe pads for your wife. Did you come across complaints by any chance?
So for our consumers, after we launched the complaint, the suit, we have a host of complaints. We have ladies have complained about the rashes, about the boils, about the itchiness, about there's a whole list of issues, and we've come to find out that except that it's a very private conversation that it's not very much discussed. But the reality is that there are very many complaints concerning this particular product. We've had interviews that we've had gynecologist advisors that probably change the product that you're using because it is this particular product that is causing you the product. And the sad bit is that always has had this conversation prior in the past.
I actually wanted to comment because I also had an issue with it.
Yes.
Like it causes you, it's very uncomfortable to use. And this I'm speaking as a woman who's used. And for some of my friends, I've actually had people complain of rashes.
Yes, and there was even a campaign that was done a few years back that was called My Always Experience, whereby women complained about this product, and then they later on came to find out that it's the product that was messing them up. They promised to change, but then they did not change. So Always is notorious in this particular conversation. And the thing is that they're dumping these products in Africa. We have enough conversations from people to confirm that the products that are sold to Kenyan women, the products that they sell in other jurisdictions do not tally.
Yep.
They are not the same. So they advertise as if it's the same criteria, as if it's the same quality, but then it's not the same quality.
And that is actually true because I've bought always pads that have, I have a friend who imports things from the US, and the pads they get for always that they sell are different. Of course, the pricing is different, but when you compare the two and use the two, it's a whole different world altogether. Who are the countries or people that have sued always before?
Oh, so this has happened in Australia. Let's begin on the south. So Australia had a case whereby Cortex had been advertised as made in Australia while it was made in South Korea, and they sued. And it's among our foundational cases when we began, in that the simple issue in that case was that made in Australia. That was the gist of the case.
So that was an issue of country of manufacture?
Country of manufacture.
Okay.
So, the court held that you misled the Australian consumers by saying it was made in Australia. So even if you put it in the same matrix, made in Australia, it was false. Now here, it is made in cotton. It is false. So the two analyses tally. So that is in Australia. If you go to countries like America, we have more than 50 cases. Can you imagine? Two particular defendants, more than 50 cases, and the issue around it is misleading customers. We have an example of Huggies, where they were sued and they said that we did not say that the product was natural. All we did is that we indicated natural. It was up to the customer to confirm.
But wait a minute. How am I supposed to confirm if it's natural and it's a processed product, like as a layman?
So the reaction that you had is also the reaction that the court had. The court told them a very simple thing: your explanation is absurd. And what they were trying to argue is that had we written it is 100% cotton, or had we written it is pure cotton, then at that particular instance you could have said that we misled the customer. So in comes Kenya. You have written 100% organic cotton. If you put the two scenarios together, isn't that misleading?
Yeah.
Always same conversation. If you go today to the website of Procter & Gamble and you look at Always, they have a particular section of pure cotton. But just go, and it's very surprising about these products. They will give you the lie on the landing page. Then at the bottom, when you actually dig slightly deeper and find out what the ingredients are, you come to find out that it is not cotton. And the reality is that these products, some of what it is that they are using, are products that are used in the construction industry, products that have been linked.
No way.
Yes, products that have been linked to carcinogens, products that have been linked to cancer. You have titanium dioxide, you have this. It's not, just go to their website, pick a product, then go down the rabbit hole. This product A, what is it made of? What are the other uses? Is it good for human consumption? And you'll come to find out that everything that they're using is not good for human consumption because it is synthetic. And I think you want, if at the end of at the core basis, if you want to understand, is that if it is not natural, what is it? This synthetic thing, what is it? And you come to find out it's oil. It's just a way of them peddling oil, because even after you use the sanitary product and you use the diaper and you dispose of it, or even if you do not use it, you take it and you bury it in soil, does it rot? You'll come back after 10 years, it's still there. So they are also causing an environmental aspect here in Africa where they are being dumped and they are not biodegradable. But before it gets here to Africa, they have already done a very huge mess from where they're getting the other products. One, the oil products that they are using. Oil is not a good product for this world. Then comes in the core product that they indicate as the first product, that is called wood pulp and cellulose. I'd like to ask you from a very mundane perspective, have you ever seen a white tree?
Christmas tree.
Covered in snow.
Yeah.
So if you're saying that your sanitary pad is white and it is made of wood pulp, which is this white tree that you used? Okay, so the first product already is a lie. Then we come to where was it sourced. So we find that they have destroyed more than 50 million acres of forest. There are two forests. There is Boreal Forest. There is also one in Florida. There is some in Mexico. So they are ruining environments there, and then those outcomes, they are coming to dump them here in Africa.
You know now my concern, okay, I know the forests are very important, but at this point now my concern is we have a consumer protection of Kenya, right? That's what it's called, I want to believe. Why is it that we have organizations like consumer protection, yet these products come in and we have KEBS and they have the mark of quality, but these products are able to penetrate in our markets without these organizations having check? And I believe they have women in those organizations.
I'd narrow it down to corruption, lack of patriotism, and having this country being run by people who do not love this country. Because if you look at it from a very narrow perspective, Kenya has the ability to produce its own cotton. So why is it that we are accepting these products that are made of synthetics into our country? KEBS should be the one to be the watchdog from because they enter through the port of Mombasa.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So if, for example, it is now understood that you cannot sell something made in South Korea in Australia, all it means is that the Australian government is very careful to ensure that their consumers are using goods that are manufactured and of a certain quality in Australia. So why isn't our government doing that? Why isn't our government promoting local products, local produce, local manufacturing? It's all down to corruption. So if we had a sensible government, a sensible KEBS, this is an employment opportunity. I mean, Kenya has a population of about 55 to 60 million, somewhere there about. If you are to divide it, it means we have more than 27 million women. It means we have more than 20 million consumers. That's a market. That's an entire market. And of all these 20 million consumers, we are exporting that revenue to Procter & Gamble and Kimberly & Clark in the United States of America and all their subsidiaries. Why are we exporting our revenue on even this very basic commodity?
And out of curiosity, have you had this conversation with, it's called Consumer Federation?
Yes.
Have you had a conversation with them?
I wrote an email to them. I invited them to join the case. They kept quiet. We proceed without them.
That would be so sad that the organization that we as Kenyans expect would be, we actually pay them with our taxes to do the job, then they're not doing the job.
Yes. So we wrote to them, we invited them, we have email evidence that we wrote to them, we invited them, we have this case, we sent them a copy of our pleadings and gave them an explanation, a brief of why this is important. They did not bother. They will not stop us from moving ahead. Okay,
I know we may not discuss details of the case, but would you give us an overview of where we are and expectations? I know you're a lawyer, so you know the limits.
So we can discuss this case, number one. Oh. The reason why we can discuss this case is one, under Article 22 of the Constitution. It allows any particular person, an individual or a group of individuals to file a case on behalf of other people.
Yes.
And a class action. Under Section 4 of the Consumer Protection Act, it allows us to file a class action. Now, how do you have a class action if you're not talking to the class? So we are allowed to talk about the case.
Okay. So from a lawyer, safe.
So now what happened is that after we filed the case, the judge, Justice Chacha Mwita, appreciated the importance of the case when we began. He gave them 7 days to respond. They did not respond. Both companies never respond. We've sued them for their 4 products. None of them responded. So when they came to court, their argument was that they are not the distributors of the product. And the court rubbished that argument. And they told them, if that is the presentation that you're making, let that be your main argument and let the case proceed. So we were back in court on 15th of October. Justice Chacha Mwita told them to file their replying affidavit. To date, they've not filed their replying affidavit. They've not filed documents to show why. And I understand where they're coming from, because what are you going to say in the affidavit? That it is made of cotton. Well, it is not made of cotton.
But let me ask, they said they are not the distributors.
Yes.
So they know that a product is bad and they just distribute because their work is to sell?
Yeah,
what's the argument?
It's a nonsense argument, because, for example, if you pick the product, I mean, we can pick any and choose any. You just need to look around and you will see their name. This is Pampers. Look around, you will see Procter & Gamble. So how do you say it's not yours? You pick Cortex. You don't need to look very far. You just need manufactured by Kimberly and Clark. Kimberly, as in it's all there. How do you say it's not your product?
Yeah,
and then if you say it's not your product, then you'll need to take us back to class and tell us what does a registered trademark stand for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it has a registered trademark, and we've not seen you sue the person who's selling on your behalf a product that is not your product. Okay? Yeah. So we know for a fact it is their product, and we know it is not made of cotton. So that argument that they had in court that it is this, we are not the distributors, someone else is supposed to be the distributor. The product has your name, it has your logo, it has your registered trademark. I mean, you just need to look at the product. Next to it, there is an R with a circle. I mean, what does registered trademark mean?
Yeah.
Isn't it? So it was an argument that was neither here or there. Okay? It's an escapist argument, and where they need to be held accountable for their products, because this is the backstory of this, and we need to understand it from a macro perspective. How the world works is that these big conglomerates feed into each other. Yeah. So you'll find company A offering product to company B, and then the same product is using company C. But the objective is that this whole circle can make profit. It's a game of musical chairs. So you'll find the oil companies now have an avenue of selling sanitary products. So now the oil company has made money. Now the car manufacturers, the lorry, the big trucks that cut down the trees now have a market. GM and all other manufacturers. The industry that is sort of their favorite, that is the pharmaceutical. These products end up causing cancer. Okay, and once they cause cancer, they have carcinogens, they have forever chemicals, all that. Who's the end beneficiary? It's the pharmaceutical, and the pharmaceutical industry is now gaining from these other products. Because why is it that you're selling to us a product that you know has carcinogens? Why is it that you're selling to us a product that you know has forever chemicals? In New York, currently, one of their sister companies, Carefree, is being sued by 25,000 petitioners for having products that have forever chemicals, that have carcinogens. I am sure if you did a lab test of these ones, we will find the same thing.
Is it something you're planning to do?
Definitely, we want pure, natural, organic cotton grown in Kenya. Our criteria is very, very, very simple. Natural, organic cotton grown in Kenya.
And then why is it that I want to believe Kenya still grows cotton? Mm-hmm. Why is it that then we are importing a processed product while we have cotton in Kenya?
It's corruption. How colonialism works is that you kill an industry.
This is another way of neocolonialism.
It's neocolonialism 100%. You kill a product, then I sell you mine. So we can use another product, then we can come to this one. Kill the beverages product, so kill mango, kill oranges, sell me Coca-Cola. It's still colonialism. It's still the same narrative. So for example, in cotton, let us read areas in Kenya where cotton grows. So cotton grows in Rift Valley, in Elgeyo Marakwet, Baringo, West Pokot, in Eastern, in Kitui, Machakos, Makueni, Isiolo, Embu and Meru, Tharaka Nithi, in Central, in Kirinyaga, Murang'a, in Coast, Tana River, Taita Taveta, Kwale, Kilifi, Lamu, in Nyanza, Siaya, Kisumu, Migori, Homa Bay, in Western Busia, and Bungoma.
It sounds like 20-something counties.
We are all over. Because the thing about cotton is this. Cotton is a perennial plant. And a perennial plant is one that does not die. It's not potatoes or carrots or cabbages that you uproot, then you need to now plant it again. Okay? So you can use it again and again. So all you need to do is just take care of the plant and then continue harvesting. So once you plant your cotton, you can continue. And the weather, the Kenyan weather, this blessing that we have over weather, we can continue using it. So, and the data shows that Kenya has the ability to produce more than 200,000 metric tons, meaning we can meet this criteria and we can also be able to export. And that is if we are doing normal, and this research is about 15 years old. So meaning with new improved farm methods, there is the vertical space. Okay? The data that we have for the 200,000 metric tons is if we are growing it on land strictly. What if we use the vertical space? All of this space going upwards. How many metric tons?
The Sukuma wiki bags.
Yes. So who told?
Cotton trees.
We can grow it in terraces.
Okay, yeah, that could.
Yes. There is an avenue. All we need is people with intention. All we need is leaders who are geared towards helping their people.
Okay, but something else I know, the one product or plant that is legal to grow in Kenya, GMO, is cotton. Then why would Kenya be pushing for GMO cotton and still we're importing things like Pampers?
So the GMO cotton is a very controversial conversation, because the company actually that wants to produce it is called BT Cotton, and one of the lead push of that narrative is one of the main culprits in this world, Bill Gates. Yes. So what's going on is this. Just Google on your own, read suicide cotton rates in India, suicide relating to cotton in India. And you'll find data that in India, people were committing suicide, mass suicide, because of cotton. And what
you said suicide cotton?
India. Just go keywords, BT cotton, then you see what you find. Okay? So what you will realize is this: Indians were being sold, had been created an avenue for cotton, and then that cotton market was removed, and they were made to be dependent. The challenge here was this: the cotton that they were being sold for, since it's GMO, it has to be supported.
Yeah.
And as I said, these companies have a symbiotic relationship where they tend to support each other. So this cotton that you're being sold to that is GMO has to be supported by a lot of pesticides and a lot of herbicides. I'm sure you remember, you are aware about our agricultural bills.
Yes.
So these chemicals and these pesticides that are used for this particular process, the glycophosphates, the Roundups, the products from Syngenta, Monsanto, these products then end up seeping into your human body. And that's the reason why you hear even the advertisement is pure organic cotton, which means it does not have external particles, including pesticides. And there is a specific decision to that effect in court, that you cannot say that it is pure while you know it was mixed with a lot of pesticides. So this conversation of GMO cotton, eventually, in the far end of things, if we adopt it, we shall come to have triple problems for our farmers.
But we've already adopted. It's
Yes.
already being farmed, I think, in Western Kenya.
Yes.
But anyway, the first thing that came after I Googled the suicide cotton, it says the money lenders force farmers to sell their cotton to them at a price lower than it fetches on the market. So according to activists and studies, this created a source of debt and economic stress, ultimately suicides among farmers.
Not my data.
Wow.
Not my data. I told you, GMO cotton eventually is a rabbit hole that will end up, it's not beneficial to us. So our pure natural cotton, and where we cannot meet the need, put it in a terrace, increase your property upwards. There is an opportunity, and the weather here allows it. All you need is good water, maintain good manures, and you can grow cotton. And if you go to our rural areas, you can find in some areas cotton just growing on its own as a bush, uninterrupted and interfered. I mean, we live in a country, think about it from a very practical perspective. If you were to take a can of maize and you are to walk down the streets of Nairobi or any other place in Kenya, and you are to throw it in any direction, and the only condition is that people don't trample on it, will you harvest maize or not?
You will.
So isn't that the Garden of Eden?
It is, for sure.
Yes.
Now, coming back to the conversation on pads, Kenya, of course, we have parliament who are the lawmakers. Where are you looking to take this in terms of, that's not legal. Technically, it's legal in terms of having that as part of our laws in Kenya.
So,
especially with the committees that deal with that.
They are not functional. We don't have a functional government. That's the reason why we are doing this job ourselves. Had KEBS been aware, had our consumer protection laws been aware, had Parliament been doing its job, I should not be the one speaking this conversation. We have parliamentarians who they do not deserve me naming them, who pretend to stand for women's rights, human rights. This conversation has been going on for the last 4 or 5 months. Any of them who has assisted? Did any of them even try to open a ginnery? Because when you and if you notice, please note that the Finance Act has come back again, and there are new taxes on sanitary products. Now, if this government cared, should it put taxes on sanitary products, or should it start offering a way to build our own natural ginnery, our own natural cotton? So we know who the taxes are benefiting, and indirectly, if you do not understand the bigger picture of what is going on, we are funding the war in Israel. That's the reason why our taxes are going higher. Our taxes are...
What do you mean we are funding the war?
We are funding the war in Israel. In fact, let me explain it to you from a sanitary pads perspective.
Yes, please.
Okay. This company called Pampers. Pampers is owned by Procter & Gamble.
Yes.
Who owns Procter & Gamble? The person we have sued. They are the first respondents. So Procter & Gamble are owned by BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street and all the other people who are busy funding the war in Israel. So the Lockheed Martins, the people who manufacture the bombs, the people who all of them are owned by the same people. So you remember I told you it's a game of musical chairs.
Yeah.
So you're the one who owns company A, company B, company C, and even the company that is throwing bombs in Israel, the company that is killing people in Lebanon, it's still the same people. So you are busy just
That's a very sad reality to live with.
Yeah. So you are busy buying coffee, Nescafe. You're busy buying a product from Johnson & Johnson. But Johnson & Johnson is owned by the person who's throwing the bombs. You're busy buying a sanitary product, but that make of the sanitary product, be it Huggies, be it Pampers, is owned by the person who owns the bombs. So indirectly, without you knowing, every single cent is going back to funding this war. And because war is expensive, that's the reason why taxes need to go higher. It's a 1-to-B conversation.
I understand that part. And still go back. We have women reps in Kenya for each county. There are 47. And of course, we have other women leaders. Is there any of them perhaps who's taken up this conversation, or are you looking forward to having a conversation with either so that at least we are able to push it out even with the legislature?
We are trying to push this narrative to, first of all, save this country on our own. Because this thing has been going on. It's not that it is new. And once we are through this conversation, we hope to serve court orders to supermarkets and to the people who are retailers to come join us in this fight. That's the reason why you will note that as we file this case, there is an online petition that is going. And I'm sorry, I kind of forgot about this. Let me remind you. There is the online petition, and we urge all our listeners and all our viewers, please note there is an online petition whereby if you want to come and be part of this case, you can join. Now, why should you be part of this case? Okay? Because as I told you, we are solving this case from a Kenyan perspective. Why should you be part of this case? Now, let's talk about what the law provides. Okay? We talk about what the law provides about consumer protection in specificity. Article 46 of the Constitution provides that you should receive goods of reasonable service. You should also receive full information so that you can be able to get full benefit. It should also protect your safety, your health, and your economic rights. And where someone does not do that to the consumer, they should be compensated. You remember I told you that we are coming in under Article 22. Article 22 also says that if you filed a case concerning mass people, you ought to be compensated. Our Consumer Protection Act says that if, as a consumer, you've been misled, you've been mispresented, someone has done unconscionable conduct, someone has done unjust conduct, someone has deceived you on the quality, they've deceived you on the benefits, they've deceived you on the... It's a whole lot of things, Section 12, 13, 15. It says that you can rescind that contract. And if you rescind, you can get compensation. So anybody who comes into this case, we are going to ask for compensation. One, you lied to us. We want general damages. We want to rescind. We want to ask that all the profits that you made should disappear, should come back to us. After all, you misused us. And we also ask for punitive and exemplary damages against those companies. So if you are a listener and you are watching, please join this case. And you're not going to ask for small coins. We want to ask for so much money that it may tally the GDP of another country.
I tell you,
yes.
If you tell people to join a case where they will be paid, I think you're
and
going to have
we are not asking for
board.
anything. And we are not asking for anything. We are not asking for anything. Okay, our petition is on change.org. In fact, if you just Google it, just Google toxic pads, change.org, you will find our petition. All you need to do is put in your name. Our name will come on this other side, and you can join the case.
If you've been broke because of the way the economy is, this is your chance. Don't be left behind.
Yeah.
Please sign that. Actually, this I'm saying on a very serious note as a woman who's experienced that. Do sign it. The other question as we come to an end, how would women maybe come through in this whole cause? Because it's a thing about women and their children. I know, of course, men will be there to support, but it's very first-hand for women.
Number one, let's embrace buying our own natural products. We will have a transition whereby we may not have all the products that we want right now, but as I've said, within 150 to 180 days, a cotton plant grows and matures and you can be able to harvest. So for our entrepreneurs, there is an avenue. For our women, there is a product gap that you can come in. So even women, do not wait for other people to solve this problem. In fact, this conversation should go to the women entrepreneurs. Fellow women require this product. Children require this product, and you have monthly consumers and daily consumers. So there is an avenue for our entrepreneurs. There is an avenue for all our women. Start pushing that you want to buy pure cotton products. And as you insist on that product, the next phase is that we want to buy pure organic cotton made in Kenya. And once we transverse that phase, I want us to be exporters of cotton because we have the weather, we have the space. Do you know the amount of space that would be required to fulfill our need? Kenya is 464 square kilometers. The space that would be required is about 450 square kilometers. So we'd leave
a quarter of Kenya.
It's not even a quarter. We are 582,000 plus we need 400.
Oh, only 400.
We need 400 of the 582,000. Okay. It's such a small.
It's not even a county.
It's such a small portion of Kenya, and it can fit. In fact, it's the distance of about from Nairobi to Thika. If we were to allocate that, then all our needs separated into different counties would be able to meet. So,
and you know, when you think about it, now that you've mentioned, I know leaders in Kenya who own that size of land that's useless, lying idle, like they're not doing anything to it, and that's land that would meet the needs. Maybe it's time, if you're one of those politicians who own those chunks and you do nothing, maybe they should try. Cotton farming. Yeah,
cotton farming. I mean, there's a product gap. I mean, what is marketing? There is a demand, there is a supply. If you go to any of our supermarkets, if you go to any of our shops, our women are not being sold products that are being made of cotton. And as a patriotic Kenyan, we don't have products that are made in Kenya. When will we embrace made in Kenya? Yeah.
And these conversations, I'm just wondering, like, if I look into the current government, for instance, agriculture is one of their tools or places which they really pushed. Do you think they have intentions of going that direction at all?
I would say no. I would. I can't say. I can't vouch for this government, even if they were to
No,
deliver
ignore.
toothpicks.
Maybe the Ministry of Agriculture. Let's go down to.
The Ministry of Agriculture is still the ministry that pushed down on us the agricultural bills that had GMOs. They have a job to do that they don't do, and this narrative has not begun this year. We have had this problem all throughout. I mean, women did not start having menstrual cycles in 2024.
Yeah.
Why is it that they've not thought of this? The ginneries in Homaby, when they were dying, the ginneries in Sierra, when all those businesses were dying, the businesses in Mbere that were growing cotton, why is it that you are not looking? Rivertex is an example. Rivertex died and no one cared about it. So when we talk about this government, I'm very skimpish to say that if we were to allocate for them a duty or an obligation they'll be able to deliver, I can comfortably say no.
Looking at the way courts go, you could win, you could lose. If you lose, what happens?
We appeal.
You could still, even the Court of Appeal could throw it out. I mean, we've seen even in the political space how it goes.
So
like
first,
where next?
So one, I don't believe we will lose. We do not, and our narrative is very simple. It's not cotton. Yeah, the case has very many multifaceted layers to explain, but it is not cotton. We have the advertisements on record. You cannot deny it. In fact, it's one of those arguments when you put forward to court, we put in an argument called judicial notice. Let the court note for itself, this is not cotton, it's advertised as cotton, it's not cotton. So, but even if we were to win, even if, and you must also consider that if we win,
yes,
they may also appeal.
Yeah.
Okay?
Once you win,
yes,
yeah,
both parties have equal rights.
Yeah,
okay,
true.
So they may also appeal. But even if we take it down that path, the message that we are going to deliver to our women, I mean, how many women now have known that it is not cotton? We are also doing civic education. We are teaching women. We are teaching the society so that other people know. The conversations that I've had with people telling me that I have had my son circumcised after he used diapers. And it's because, yes, and it's because the pebbles that are inside that are supposed to hold in water have caused a skin rash. Because if you think about it from this perspective so that you understand the product, inside the diaper, inside the sanitary, there is a product that is supposed to hold in the fluid.
Yeah.
That product that is supposed to be there, if you remember your chemistry back in high school, there's something that was called a hydroponic product, whereby it sucks in water, such that if you put salt, you may find that it has sucked in water. So that product has more characteristics of absorbing. That's the main cause of toxic shock syndrome, that it now sucks in more than it was supposed to suck, because remember, it's transacting. Okay? Yes. So it's not a good product. Even if we were to go left, right, and center, they are not good products. And the best product is natural cotton. And the good thing about natural cotton, it is also good for your skin. Yes. It does not react. And I mean, if our women are using these products and then having rashes, having boils, and all these other infections, how then are you still marketing this product to us? And you know the solution is in cotton. Why don't you go to the solution?
Go to the solution that is cotton.
Yes.
When I think about it on the health aspect, I don't know if you've spoken to doctors and what I know you're not one, but what's the feedback that doctors or medics, people in the medical space share?
So we've spoken to, I think, about 5 doctors. We have a space, and you can join our WhatsApp group. Our doctors also understand what's going on, and they're explaining, and we even have now doctors who are part of our petition, and they understand that the product. So, and the main thing that they are recommending is that change this product, do not use it, but the doctors also identify the product. Our doctors also know that this particular product, especially like, for example, Always, there is another notorious culprit. In fact, of the list of culprits, they are number 1, Soft Care. We had not sued them, but they are soon on the platter. They have recommended that this particular product is the one that causes most people these reactions. So mostly what they're doing is they're recommending change of product, and the recommendation that they're making, change, and then to use another natural product made of cotton.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I think I have a lot to digest from this, and I hope our viewers too have a lot of conversations. But then you can share with us in the comment section if you've had an issue and how you've managed to get through that, or what you feel should be done. Why, as we come to a conclusion, what would be your message to, I remember, women and Kenyans in general with regards to usage of these products?
Well, number one, they're not made of cotton.
That's open. Get to know that. And
Yes.
I think by now women actually know that.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are not made of cotton, and there is an opportunity to use cotton grown in Kenya, natural and organic. So we may not have the solution today, but you know where the solution is. Natural, organic, grown in Kenya. It is not just good for the economy, it is good for you as an individual, for your health, it is good for your family, it is good for your child, it is good for Kenya generally. So why don't we just go back to basics? Let's just use cotton. This message has very many layers, but it is, we want cotton grown in Kenya so that we can come out of colonization, we can evade these issues of cancer being caused by these products, we can have the revenue that is being generated come back to Kenya, create good. I mean, the product labeling that is here, that's a job for our youth here in Kenya. We say we want to take our people to have jobs overseas. These are the job opportunities. There is a market, and we highly encourage natural, organic cotton grown in Kenya. And
that's where you wrap it up.
Yes.
Natural, organic cotton grown in Kenya. Please do take note of that. I also agree with that. That theme and message, and I want to believe this is something that actually the government must. This is not a request now. The government, you must fix this problem, because as women we've lived with it, we've struggled with it, but now we have a voice. We can voice our opinions and say what we want. Do fix it. Our women leaders. It's been too much of calling you out, but now at this point, just get things done. If you can join, Mwai joined. He said you can check it was hashtag?
Check change.org. Look for toxic pads. There is a petition. Sign. Join the case.
And
change.org. Just search for toxic pads. You will find our campaign. It has all the case details, what has happened, our updates. Join us. Let us fight this together.
Yeah, sure. Do join. And thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next episode.